Hello! Happy New Year! And welcome to Straight Guy K-Drama Reviews. So for my first video of 2021, I thought I should look back at 2020 and count down my top 5 favorite K-dramas. So, just a disclaimer, I only started watching K-dramas in 2020. So, on my list now, it won't be just K-dramas produced in 2020. I'll be picking some old ones as well. Okay, so let's get started. Number 5, When the Camellia Blooms. So this show stars Gong Jin and Kang Neul. And when I started watching this K-drama, I had no expectations at all. Netflix didn't really give a great description of what this show was going to be. Um, but maybe that's why I was so blown away by this show. It's amazing that the story is so heartwarming, so pure, so funny, so lovely. You wouldn't think that it's actually set on a backdrop of a serial killer mystery, right? So I thought it was amazing that they were able to balance that out because even if this was about a serial killer, you still left the show feeling so hopeful, so loved, and so optimistic. So it's just amazing how they did that. And MVP has to be Kang Han-yul. I think it was one of the funniest performances I've ever seen. Number 4, Descendants of the Sun. So this stars Song Hye Kyo and Song Joong Ki, so the Song Song couple, right? Or they used to be known. You know, uh, this is what I like to call the popcorn K drama. When people ask me what K drama they should introduce their boyfriend or their dad or their husband to, this is always one of my top recommendations because it's a very popcorn K drama, right? It's an easy watch. There's lots of action, lots of medical drama, so it's easy to get behind. But for me personally, what I really love about this K drama, apart from Song Hye Kyo, who's just like, a goddess who decided to be an actor on Earth, is that they were able to really give justice to two professions that I find are just they should be celebrated all the time, right? The military and the medical frontline workers. They should really be given their day in the sun, pun intended, because they gave them both their dues. Like they showed a lot of the tough situations they're in, the tough decisions they have to make, and the sacrifices they have to make. So for me, that's my favorite part of the show. All right, number 3, It's Okay to Not Be Okay. So this stars Seo Ji and Kim Soo Hyun. So this is one of the smartest things I've seen on TV last year. And I watched a lot of TV last year because I was pretty much quarantined at home, right? I think this is one of the smartest things I've seen. They tackled a really, really touchy subject, mental health. And my personal favorite about this show is that the main characters, they all grew, right? There was character growth, and it was very natural, but also very inspiring, the character growths. Sometimes in K dramas, it's very one dimensional, right? Like one character changes, and it's clear they used to be bad, now they're good. But here, the growth is just tailor made for each character, right? So that no one character grows the same way. I thought that was genius. All right, number 2, Crash Landing on You, starring Hyunbin and Son Ye Jin. So just to clarify, Crash Landing is not my number 1, not because Hyunbin and Son Ye Jin went public with their relationship. I'm not that bitter. I'm hurt, but I'm also not that bitter. Just kidding, just kidding. I'm happy for them. Um, I just think that, and I've said this in my review on the show, is that it's amazing because all the themes from this show have been done before, right? There's nothing tremendously new about the themes of this show, but the fact that it has this great worldwide crossover appeal, it really goes to show how good the acting was, right? So kudos to the casting, kudos to all the actors, especially the two supporting casts, the two groups supporting casts. They were amazing, and they really, really carried the show. Of course, Son Ye Jin and Hyun Bin were apparently falling in love, so of course the chemistry was off the charts, right? So, I mean, that is just a recipe for a tremendous show. And it remains to be, I think, my number one recommendation for somebody, for a straight guy especially, who steps off the boat with no knowledge of K drama whatsoever. I really think that Crash Landing is the best show to start with. All right, my number one. I think this is going to surprise a lot of people, but the number one K drama, at least my favorite K drama that I watched in 2020, is actually an old one. It's called Weightlifting Fairy Kim Bok-ju. It stars Lee Sung-kyun and Nam Joo-hyuk. Okay, so I know this is going to be surprising to some, like I said, because this is such a small scale K drama, like compared to the others, right? I think their budget is really small. The story itself is actually very, very small. There's no worldwide implications. Um, there's no killing. There's no action. I think that's what makes it really heartwarming and cute. It's just a few young people passionate about sports and passionate about love. I think it's just really cute. But my favorite part about this K drama is that it really goes deep and tackles the plight of athletes and coaches, especially national athletes. Um, there we have a lot of sports movies, sports TV shows, but it's always the same arc, right? You struggle in the beginning, and then they find a master or they find themselves, and then they go onto this trajectory, and then they win, right? But here it's a totally different story. It's really just a look at all of the different difficulties, trials, and sacrifices that athletes go through. And they tackle a lot of issues that, again, sports movies don't always cover very well, which is like the mental issues, family sacrifice, um, and just getting away from the game, right? Sometimes you're over passionate about a sport that you need to actually take time off from the sport. So a lot of these intricacies about being an athlete that's trying out to make the national team. I did serve as a coach of the bowling national team of the Philippines, so maybe that's why I gravitate towards this show so much. But if you haven't seen the show, and chances are, if you just started watching K dramas recently, you haven't seen this because this is a 2016 one, so it's pretty old. So make sure to catch it. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. All right, that's it. That's my top 5 favorite K dramas I've seen in 2020. Let me know in the comments below if I missed out on one of your favorites. Maybe I haven't seen it yet, right? And as usual, please write down any of your recommendations for any new K drama that I should review. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, and you can watch my other videos right now.